Hello everyone, welcome to another video from this channel. In this one, we are just going to talk about different topics relevant to this channel, what are we doing here, and also how to prepare, why we are making these videos to begin with, and things like that. So it's not our typical lesson schedule, it's just talking about what are we doing here. I wanted to talk a little bit about this channel, why I decided to create it, and why are we doing this to begin with. I have a full-time job. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't even, I didn't even know like how the whole sort of YouTube ecosystem and everything works. But I was very much a consumer of YouTube videos, and I'm coming from sort of point of view of a consumer. And I consume YouTube in multiple ways as a sort of entertainment, as well as a learning platform. So I use it to learn topics in my field that I work, as well as, for example, DIY, or whenever I start a new project, sometimes I try search on YouTube and find interesting, inspiring content on it. And I decided the reason I decided to create these videos was because I think there is a gap in specifically writing, or I would say writing, in writing lesson contents. And what I mean is that these writing teaching contents, my initial feeling was that they're not sort of enough. They're not paint the picture. And after doing the whole sort of series on specifically on academic IELTS, I realized still not enough. And what I mean is that by consuming these videos about writing, your writing probably won't become better. Your listening might become better, or your speaking, because listening is very close to speaking, might become better. But video content alone is not gonna help you much in improving your writing skill. It might point you to the sort of correct. I wouldn't say correct. It might point you to the sort of right direction. So I would say directionally. Let's put it this way. Directionally, I think maybe there are two L's here. Directionally is a good idea to sort of consume writing tips or writing tutorials, but it's not enough. It's maybe 10% of the way or 20% of the way. And the other 80% that is missing, is a platform to practice, essentially. And my personal belief is that there is a sort of a interesting place here. I think there is a gap in products and technology right now for a platform to practice writing. So you have all these ideas that we talked about, for example, for IELTS exam and for TOEFL exam, or for all these exams that requires writing, but there's not a clear platform to practice. For example, the best way, I would say, the best way to improve writing is to make mistakes, and that's true for everything. It's true for speaking as well. But there are a lot of good platforms for speaking. For example, you go to the conversation class, and you can practice speaking or listening. You practice with your buddies or your classmates, and you practice it that way. But I bet that most people, you don't write, for example, you don't write an essay and pass it to a prof or a teacher, and then they will give you feedback. They will give you feedback, and then you learn something from that feedback, and you write again, essentially write again, and this loop sort of repeats. I didn't do the best job of creating the loop, but let's do it again. I think you got my point. But essentially, you write, you pass it to the prof or teacher. The prof or teacher corrects it and provides the feedback to you again. And this loops repeats multiple times, and your writing over time will improve. And this is something that we naturally do when we're learning language. But we learn language by speaking and listening. We don't really learn language by writing or reading. That's why we go to school, essentially, to write and learn. To learn writing and learn reading. That's the whole point of school, essentially. So my point is, I think I originally thought that maybe I can provide that platform with these videos, but these are not enough. These are just pointers. Like, it can point you to the right direction and like a good first step, and that's it. I don't think these videos is anything but a good first step. It might not even be that, but my opinion is, I think like, if you watch these videos or other videos, content available online, it could help you. For example, your writing score, if it's like around, for IELTS, if it's 6, it can improve it to become, let's say, a 7 or 7.5, 8, something like that. But multiple things that won't happen. IELTS is very specific for the type of essays that you need to write, and it's true for TOEFL and other exams as well. Your general writing won't become better, and you might say, "Oh, I don't even need a good writing, because with the advent of large language models, in any job that I will have, I will use them, and they will write for me." And you might be true, and that future already exists, and I wouldn't bet against you, honestly. And there's truth to that. But if you look at it from sort of point of view of art, writing as an art, writing as an art, you can, maybe, for example, ChatGPT or all these like image generation AI can produce better images than humans. But the kind of art that you can express yourself fully is only you can do it. Maybe you provide a prompt to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT writes a better prose than you do, but you never express yourself. And that is, I would say, the sort of missing thing that might be missing in this whole sort of AI text generation world that we are living. Essentially, you won't be able to express yourself if you don't learn this form of art. You won't be able to express yourself clearly, and expressing yourself is the whole point. That is my my general point essentially. So using this sort of as an using this tool, writing as a tool, which is a tool, humans, you can argue, is the first tool that humans created. You can learn this art and you can use it to express yourself. And that is the only thing, and that it's in itself worth it to learn it. Yeah, there might be a future that large language models and AI can write better prose than you do, but that better writing, that quality doesn't mean it can express better than you do, because you can only yourself can express what you're really feeling and what you're really thinking. And that's the reason that I would say it's good to learn this tool, how to write good prose so you can express yourself effectively. And in the context of language learning and preparing for exams, if you look at it as an art, as, for example, an instrument, then it becomes a lot more meaningful and interesting. It's not a chore. It's not a lesson that you have to follow. So it becomes interesting, and then you can use it to express yourself over time with this tool. And I can imagine in future there are a ton of ways to use this tool to your own benefit. So that's my point, that keep learning essentially, and look at it as an art form, and use this. You are probably right now preparing, if you're watching these videos, you're preparing for an exam. But if you look at it, for example, if you're learning listening, or you're learning speaking, you, in the back of your mind, you'll think, oh, like, I'll use this technique to make friends, for example, or socialize. So it becomes like more interesting. It's not purely a chore. And you can use the same sort of logic in writing as well, that you can think of it as an art form, and use it in you can think, oh, like, I'll get better, and in future I can express myself better and more effectively. So that's my point. And my next point, essentially, this video we're talking a lot of different topics that I didn't want to put it in a lesson. I just wanted to chat about it sort of in a very low-key format, is that, as you might have guessed from my accent, English is my second language, or maybe my 1.5 language, or second or third language, but English is not my mother tongue, and that is another reason that I started mother tonguer. I wrote down here. That's another reason that I started this channel, because a lot of content that I was seeing online is from native people. And if you're a native English speaker or writer, you haven't gone through a true process of like learning a language from English, specifically from scratch, and learning how to write, how to speak it, how to listen to it. Yeah, of course, you've done it as a sort of a native, as a child, but learning it as an adult or as a teenager, they haven't done it. So there are ways that I think you and I know that a native speaker wouldn't know, or a native English person wouldn't know. And these techniques, I would say, like watching, for example, there's zero English speaking person or native English person that is watching this video right now. So it's a sort of a club for non-English speakers here, and there's a sort of exclusivity to that, and we can use it in our benefit. Like same way that any sort of exclusivity can bring you benefits. This is the same way. Like you can sort of share your techniques with, for example, there are subreddits dedicated. I'm gonna write it down because I think it's interesting. Dedicated subreddits dedicated to IELTS or IELTS writing that you can find interesting tips for learning, specifically IELTS or IELTS writing, and an English-speaking person wouldn't, or a native person wouldn't check those subreddits. So there's good information that is there, and through going there, because I sort of went through this whole process of learning English, taking these exams, applying for graduate schools, immigrating, all these sort of stuff. These experiences taught me something that a native person probably haven't gone through. And that was another reason that I wanted to sort of share what I learned along the years that sort of I went through all these steps. I'm not saying these are inherently valuable experiences, but these are my experiences that is true to me, and I think they could be valuable by sharing. So if you find it useful, the videos that I've been sharing, it might be because I have gone through the same sort of process that you are going through many years ago. So I think like sharing, from my experience, I can share interesting content and interesting pointers that helps and helps the you that you're learning or preparing for your exam. And also next, we made a website. Me with the sort of encouragement of my wife. We made a website. It's mostly me and my wife, essentially. And the website is called surprise, langualabs.com. Happy with the outcome of the website. I spent a bunch of time learning how to develop a website, create a website, and I put it out there. I put the content that I've been making on YouTube on the langualabs.com, but I would like to add more interesting stuff, add blog posts, tips on how to prepare not only for writing, but for reading, for speaking, for all these other skills, and as well as I would like to write ebooks that put it out there for people to use, and other things. There are other ideas to explore. From this conversation, you might have guessed, like that platform that you can practice English or practice specifically English writing, providing that feedback, having one-on-one sessions with you, that you're with people that preparing for exam, having group sessions, these kind of things. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that we can do. But I just, as a sort of things to explore and learn, I tried to build the website, and I think it was, for me specifically, was very interesting because I learned a bunch of stuff. I learned how to make a website. I had never built a website before, but I did it, and I'm happy that I did it. And if it turns out that it becomes a sort of a interesting thing that I can put more time and effort in it and grow it, perfect. If not, I learned a valuable lesson of how to make a website, and I'm happy with that. And with that, I'd like to finish this video. There are more videos in this format that we are sort of chatting about sort of random things. But feel free, please, I shouldn't say feel free, I should encourage you to check out langolabs.com. And also in the coming videos, I am preparing a video series on how to improve your, how to learn a new language, how to improve your writing, and also video series about other English exams such as OET or TOEFL or these kind of things. So please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.